World War III. Can humanity survive? A look at the potential consequences. Has World War III started already? The world is at the brink of another war involving major superpowers who are poised with the most deadliest weapons the world has ever known, and weapons which could wipe away humanity. Join me and let's explore further. Every major conflict has a catalyst. World War I erupted after an assassination. World War II was fueled by the rise of expansionist powers. Today, the triggers are more numerous and potentially more devastating. A cyber attack crippling critical infrastructure, disputes over dwindling natural resources like water and oil, or even a miscalculation leading to a catastrophic chain reaction. The potential flashpoints are clear. The South China Sea, Eastern Europe, the Middle East. These are global flashpoints and key areas of geopolitical tension. As tensions escalate, the risk of a single catastrophic decision spiraling out of control increases significantly. The question isn't if it will happen, but when. But when the first shots are fired, who will stand with whom? History is often shaped by the intricate web of alliances. However, these alliances are not static. In a World War III scenario, NATO could face off against an adversarial alliance, potentially led by China and Russia. But war breeds uncertainty. Long-standing alliances could fracture under immense pressure. Observing critical alliances, the alliance of India or Turkey, considering their homegrown independent modern war industrial capacity and capabilities, with a superpower could potentially and significantly tilt the balance of the war. Could Europe fracture under the weight of the conflict? Would India remain neutral or align with a superpower? What about Africa, a continent rich in resources but vulnerable to external influence? And then there are the wild cards, rogue nations like North Korea or Iran, capable of igniting regional chaos to further their own agendas. Alliances will form, shifting and reforming, betrayals will occur, and the weapons deployed will be unlike anything the world has ever witnessed. The atomic bomb in 1945 shocked the world, but the weapons of mass destruction likely to be employed in a future global conflict are far more advanced and potentially devastating. Hypersonic missiles, traveling at speeds exceeding the speed of sound, could deliver payloads with unprecedented accuracy and speed. Swarms of autonomous weapon systems guided by artificial intelligence could operate with minimal human intervention, blurring the lines of ethical warfare. And then there's the invisible battlefield cyber warfare. Imagine critical infrastructure collapsing, power grids, financial systems, and communication networks brought down by sophisticated cyber attacks. These weapons would not only target military forces but also civilian populations, potentially causing widespread suffering and long-term societal collapse. The human cost of such a conflict would be immeasurable. A World War III scenario would not be a war between nations, it would be a war against humanity. Estimates suggest that tens of millions could perish within the initial stages of the conflict alone. Entire cities could be reduced to rubble. And for those who survive, the suffering would be unimaginable. Famine, widespread disease, and the long-term effects of nuclear fallout would create a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale. The collapse of healthcare systems, the disruption of food supply chains, and the widespread displacement of populations would push humanity to the brink. But even in a world consumed by chaos, there might be pockets of relative safety. Where could humanity find refuge in such a scenario? Experts point to geographically isolated and politically neutral nations like Switzerland, remote island nations, and self-sufficient communities. New Zealand, with its geographic isolation and robust self-sufficiency, could potentially remain relatively insulated from the worst of the conflict. Antarctica, despite its harsh conditions, could offer a unique form of refuge. However, even in these potential safe havens, survival would be challenging, resources would be scarce, and the long-term effects of environmental